Okay, today's Sunday, June 26th, and our message was about, well, not real sure what you'd call it. We didn't take notes or anything because he said he'd come in this morning and was like, no, what I'm going to preach about has changed. So I'll just read the scripture he read and talk for a little bit. The scripture was 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 1 through 3. Now when Solomon had finished praying, fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices. And the glory of the Lord filled the house. The priests could not enter into the house of the Lord because the glory of the Lord filled the Lord's house. All the sons of Israel, seeing the fire, came down, and the glory of the Lord upon the house, bowed down on the pavement with their faces to the ground, and they worshipped and gave praise to the Lord, saying, truly he is good, truly his loving kindness is everlasting. And really, the scripture says it all, and really, and that's what he talked about, is we need fire back in our church. I mean, and there's not a lot of explaining I can do with this. I mean, really, there's not. But he went through a lot, and it's one of those things where I got a lot from it, but there's not a lot of review to it, because this is one of those things where it was just a personal experience, and just what he said just made you realize where you were with God and you weren't where you think you need to be. I mean, and really that's all I got from this. Well, I can't say that's all I got from this. I got a lot. I mean, really, I got a lot out of today, personally. But it's something that what I got, it's hard. I don't know that saying anything is going to help here in getting the point across as to what I felt being there. And that's the thing with, yeah, I can come in here, I can review and talk about what the preacher said and everything, and then there's times where you come away and you're just like, wow, but that's all you are. You're just wow. And that's me right now. I'm just wow, I can't believe this. And if you've never been to a church and walked away with just that feeling of wow, then maybe you're not at the right church. You know, if I'm speaking to people that are going to church and you've never walked away from your church and you've been there for years and you've never walked away and just been wowed by, and I don't mean, yes, I go to an extremely large church and we have a lot of things available, but that's just it. Those things aren't what did it today. You know, the music was good, but my experience of it was better than what it actually was. It's not that, I mean, I didn't know most of what we were singing today, but still, I was able to sing and sing it gloriously. That's not a word, is it? I don't know. You know what I mean, or and if you don't, then you probably don't know me. And that's just the way it made me feel today. And like I said, and it wasn't the awe-inspiring orchestra or the great choir or anything. It was God. God showed up and God put a blessing on us today. It was not the great theatrics of the, because the final song, the special music day, was not even choir. The choir was coming down while the special music was being played. I mean, so, and that's just it. When things just are just a little different and you still feel that way, that's when you know that God's there and that God showed up, and it's the feeling of God. Now, I get that feeling most every time I go to church, but sometimes you think, oh, it's just the way the building makes me feel. The good music makes me feel good. This makes me, but when you go and you're like, the music isn't what catches you, but somehow you still get caught up in this, then you know that it's all about God, and you realize that, okay, the reason I'm not hearing the things I'm wanting to hear from God, and the reason there's a lot of blankness in what I know God's telling me this little thing, but how, and it's because you're not pursuing. You think you are, but what about all this other stuff you're not doing? What about the times you're not sitting and reading? What about the times, and I say this, but I know that's me, and and I don't know that there's a lot that'll ever change in that, but you need to realize that it's never God's away from you, it's you're away from God. God's never moving. God's everywhere. He's omnipresent and he's an omnipotent being, omnipresent. He's everywhere all the time. And if he's everywhere all the time, then we're the ones that move away from him. He doesn't move away from us. All we've got to do is step toward him, and he's right there. He's already where we're going. He's still where we've been, but he's also where we're going, and he's where we are. He's everywhere all the time. If you're everywhere all the time, you never move. So God has never stepped away from us. We step away from God. And yeah, see, like I said there wasn't anything else I could add to this, and I've been talking for 5 minutes since I said that. But that's the way these things go. I mean, you just start talking, and what you feel comes out, and next thing you know, you're sitting here at 8 minutes, and you go, well, I think that's enough. Everybody have a blessed week, and I'll see you next Sunday.